Hi, welcome back to my channel. Will Donald Trump destroy Russia? In this review, we explore 10 reasons why he will take a hardline stance against Moscow when he returns to the White House.
Donald Trump's America First policy has always emphasized reasserting U.S. strength on the global stage. Historically, U.S. Russia relations have often been a barometer of global power dynamics. Taking a hardline approach against Russia's expansionist tendencies could send a strong message to both allies and adversaries that America is not just back, but stronger than ever. Trump's focus would likely be on reversing any perception of American weakness during the Biden administration, especially concerning Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Moreover, allowing Russia to dominate Eastern Europe would severely undermine its influence in the region. Supporting Ukraine against Russian aggression not only asserts America's dominance, but also aligns with long-term financial prudence. As experts warn, a Russian victory would necessitate $808 billion in additional U.S. defense spending over 5 years, 7 times the $112 billion currently allocated to aid in Ukraine. Such costs would arise from troop buildups, naval expansions, and heightened readiness, making proactive containment both a strategic and economic imperative. Russia's invasion of Ukraine has become a defining issue in global geopolitics. Trump, known for his transactional leadership style, could seize the opportunity to paint himself as the leader who successfully countered Russian aggression where others faltered. While Trump previously expressed doubts about Ukraine's strategic importance, his business-oriented mindset might push him toward a decisive approach, ensuring the U.S. protects its investments in European stability. A defeat for Ukraine would embolden Moscow, enabling it to reconstitute its forces and expand its influence unchecked. This would directly menace NATO, necessitating costly and extensive U.S. military interventions. By aiding Ukraine now, Trump could ensure the containment of Russian ambitions and maintain global stability without plunging the U.S. into a far costlier conflict later. Despite his previous criticisms of NATO, Trump understands the importance of strong alliances in achieving American objectives. His rhetoric about NATO members not paying their fair share was not just criticism, but a strategy to make the alliance stronger through increased defense spending by European nations. By taking a confrontational stance toward Russia, Trump could pressure NATO members to boost their military contributions further, creating a stronger collective force to deter Russian ambitions. Additionally, Trump's proactive stance could prevent NATO from facing a scenario where a resurgent Russia, emboldened by a victory in Ukraine, challenges its eastern flank. Preserving NATO's strength now ensures the alliance's continued relevance and reduces the long-term financial burden of countering a reinvigorated adversary. Economic sanctions have been a cornerstone of U.S. strategy against Russia. Trump's administration previously imposed sanctions on Moscow for its actions in Crimea and election interference. A second Trump presidency might see an escalation of these measures, targeting critical sectors of Russia's economy, such as energy exports, financial systems, and high-tech industries. Trump could also use sanctions as a cost-effective alternative to military escalation. By weakening Russia's economy, he could limit its ability to reconstitute its military forces and curtail its capacity to threaten neighboring nations. This aligns with the broader strategy of deterring conflict now to avoid more significant financial and human costs in the future. The U.S. intelligence community has repeatedly accused Russia of cyber attacks aimed at destabilizing American institutions. From election interference to ransomware attacks on critical infrastructure, Russian cyber threats have remained a persistent challenge. Trump, often critical of perceived vulnerabilities under Democratic leadership, might seek to bolster cybersecurity defenses and implement offensive cyber operations against Russian networks. By taking an aggressive stance on cybersecurity, Trump could protect critical U.S. infrastructure, while sending a clear signal to Moscow that such actions will not go unpunished. This approach would also preemptively counter a potential Russian resurgence, further ensuring long-term security at a lower cost than rebuilding from the aftermath of a major cyber attack. One of Trump's most significant achievements during his first term was the growth of American energy production, achieving near energy independence. Russia, as one of the world's largest energy suppliers, presents both a challenge and an opportunity. By undermining Russia's oil and gas exports through sanctions and encouraging Europe to diversify its energy sources, Trump could open markets for U.S. energy exports. This strategy would weaken Russia's economy and reduce European reliance on Russian energy, further limiting Moscow's ability to fund military operations. Additionally, Trump's emphasis on American energy dominance aligns with his broader goals of reducing U.S. reliance on foreign imports while expanding its influence in global energy markets. Although Trump's past foreign policy was not explicitly driven by human rights concerns, his administration did criticize regimes accused of severe abuses when politically advantageous. Russia's track record of silencing dissidents, jailing opposition leaders like Alexei Navalny, and suppressing minorities provides ample justification for a hardline stance. Trump could frame his actions as a defense of democracy and individual freedoms, appealing to international audiences while contrasting himself with prior administrations that he could claim were soft on Putin. Additionally, this moral high ground could serve as a compelling narrative to justify further sanctions or military measures against Moscow. Trump has always emphasized the importance of projecting American military power. His tenure saw significant increases in defense spending, and he often boasted about America's unmatched military capabilities. In a second term, Trump could use Russia as the focal point to demonstrate U.S. readiness and strength, whether through joint military exercises in Europe, bolstering Eastern European defenses, or deploying advanced weapon systems to deter Russian aggression. By showcasing American military power now, Trump could prevent the need for larger-scale interventions later. As the saying goes, it is expensive to deter a war, but more expensive to fight one. This pragmatic approach aligns with Trump's preference for leveraging strength as a deterrent rather than engaging in prolonged conflicts. A strong stance against Russia could serve Trump well politically. It would appeal to voters who view Russia as a threat to U.S. security and align with bipartisan concerns over Russian aggression. This approach could also deflect criticisms about Trump's previous perceived leniency toward Putin, allowing him to rewrite the narrative about his relationship with Russia. Trump's focus on aligning financial prudence with national security could also resonate with fiscally conservative voters. By arguing that aiding Ukraine is a cost-effective measure to prevent larger expenses later, Trump could present himself as both a defender of U.S. interests and a savvy economic leader. Trump's desire for a lasting legacy cannot be understated. A tough stance against Russia, especially if it leads to tangible outcomes like the resolution of the Ukraine conflict or the weakening of Putin's regime, could cement his place in history as a global statesman. Trump would likely frame such achievements as evidence of his unparalleled leadership, contrasting his presidency with those of his predecessors. By destroying Russia's geopolitical ambitions, Trump could claim credit for reshaping global politics and restoring America's leadership in the 21st century. Furthermore, a victorious Ukraine would stand as a testament to his strategic foresight and commitment to defending democracy. In conclusion, while Donald Trump's foreign policy has often been unpredictable, his pragmatic and strategic approach suggests that he will choose to take an aggressive stance against Russia in his second term. Whether to restore American dominance, counter Russian threats, or secure his legacy, Trump has multiple incentives to confront Moscow. Such actions could redefine the global balance of power, with far-reaching implications for the U.S., Russia, and the world. The geopolitical chessboard is set, and the next moves will be pivotal in shaping the future. As the war in Ukraine continues, the devastation extends far beyond the battlefield. Landmines and unexploded ordnance are turning towns, fields, and roads into deadly traps, leaving communities unable to rebuild or even return home safely. At International Action Alliance Ltd., a not-for-profit organization I founded earlier this year, we're committed to changing this. Our demining and contamination assessment project aims to clear these hidden dangers, restore safety, and help Ukraine recover from the scars of war. Your support can make a tangible difference. By contributing to our demining efforts, you'll help provide the tools, training, and expertise needed to clear landmines effectively and assess exposure to the present contaminants in war-affected regions. This isn't just about saving lives, it's about giving families the chance to reclaim their homes and farmers the opportunity to cultivate their land again. Together, we can ensure that Ukraine's future isn't overshadowed by the remnants of war. Let's stand with Ukraine. Please consider donating to our demining project and being part of the solution. Every contribution brings us closer to a safer, brighter future for Ukraine.